Hi there, I'm Laura from 5 out of 4 Patterns and welcome to Sewing School. Voila, here's my neckband piece, all ready to go. Super excited to show you how to do this. Let's get it done. Okay, first and foremost, we have connected our front bodice and our back bodice at the shoulder seam. So right sides together, finish those shoulder seams. The next thing we need to do, let me move my my stuff out of the way here so we can get our iron out, is we need to fold our neckband lengthwise. Now here we've got our neckband and we're gonna fold it wrong sides together. Okay, so here we are. Fold it and press. Okay, here is our neckband. Now, we need to find the center of the neckband and we need to find the quarter points as well. So, pin here. And now your next question is, how do I find the quarter points, right? Because normally we have it connected here and we can find the other center. So here's how I do it. We've got our center pin. Let's keep it straight as we can. Oh boy, it doesn't, there we go. Our center pin, we're gonna bring each of the corners, each of the ends, into the center. Okay. And then we will pin. Those will be our quarter points. Now, once I've pinned these, we're also gonna find the center back and the quarter points of the bodice as well. So let's move our neckband off to the side and let's pull our bodice in here so we can take a look. Now it's easy to find the center of the back. We actually have a fold line there. If you do not have a fold crease from where you cut your pattern piece out, you're just going to match up your shoulder seams. And then this is the back bodice and you're going to pin at that fold. Now again, the next question is, how do I find those quarter points? I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, so we undo it. I'm going to pin together my placket. Just going to overlap it. Okay, and that should be, we should pin in the center of that. That would be the center of your front bodice. So we need that as well, okay? So if we match up, we've pinned them both, the front and the back, and we match them up, we have, and everything has to look the same. Notice that the shoulder seam is not our quarter point, so don't make that mistake, because then you'll have a wonky neckband. Okay, let's do the other side. So we line up our front bodice center pin and our back bodice center pin, and then we make sure the fabric is all lined up. There we go. And again, we notice that our shoulder seam is not the quarter point, and we pin there. If you do that, it's gonna make it a whole lot easier for you. Now, we're gonna leave the back bodice pin in, but we're gonna take the front bodice and the placket out because that has to be open. So we have successfully gotten our quarter points all together and ready to go on both our neckband and our bodice. Now it says with the right sides together, this is step 3. Right sides together, we're gonna match up the center back of the bodice and the center of the neckband. We're gonna match those and pin those. The raw edge should align. Okay, so here we go. Let's match up our pins and then pin in place. Now we're also gonna match up our quarter points. And then we're gonna pin in place. Okay, here we are. So we've got our back and our quarter points all lined up, and now we've got the rest of our neckband here that we are going to contend with. So here's what step 4 says. At the center front, we're going to align one straight end of the neckband and hood to one edge of the placket. So we're going to bring this, the raw edges should be touching. So it shouldn't go like this, because if you just stitch around from here all the way around like you normally would, you would flip this up and you would have a raw edge here. Not what you're going for at all. So you've got to turn that, you've got to manipulate it a little bit and bring it up this way. So your raw edges are meeting and your folded edges are meeting. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, and what I would actually do is, and I believe she calls for this, yep, use Wonder Tape to hold this in place. Amazing. Everyone loves Wonder Tape. I'm going to place Wonder Tape, well I have placed Wonder Tape across the top of my placket here. And then I'm going to take my little paper off. And just as I said before, you're not going to place it like this. Your raw edge should not be against a folded edge. Raw edges should meet raw edges and your folded edge should meet the folded edge. So we're going to line up the folded edge here. And I'm actually, even though there's Wonder Tape there, I'm going to pin it a little bit. Okay, and then you're gonna gradually, you can see like you hit a certain point and then it's like, oh, something funky happens. So you just have to maneuver it a tiny bit here. It's not, and you're just gonna maneuver the fabric. So right about here, which is where that turn ends, we're gonna add another, oops, another pin. Okay, and we can add another pin here if we want, just to make sure we're all good to go. Okay, so there's that. So now we're going to baste along this neckband point here. So we're going to start at the corner, the inner corner here, and we're going to baste along here. That's going to give us a gradual effect rather than a straight across effect. So it's just going to make sure that our neckband isn't going to move when we take it over to the serger. So I'm going to do that on both sides. So you're going to do that exactly what I just did, you're going to do on the other side as well. Okay, so here we are. Let me trim off my excess threads here. And we're moving on to step 6. Now, I'm going to show you what I've done here. You can see that on both sides, I've basted from the corner. Okay, now a way to check this, it says to flip your neckband up to check placement. So if you flip it up and it's not quite right, then you can take your basting stitches out and you can start again. Okay, so, but if they're okay, then it's time to move on to step 7. It says gently stretch your neckband and hood to match the opening. So you're stretching just a little bit. We're going to sew with a stretch stitch, zigzag or serger. And I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. All right, so we are on step 8 where we're going to flip our neckband up and press and top stitch. Now let me talk to you about this pressing. Now when you flip your neckband up, your stitch, your seam allowance is going to be flipped down, okay? So that when you top stitch, you're top stitching on the bodice side. So you don't want it flipping up. So when you press it, we're gonna press that seam allowance toward the bodice itself, and then we can top stitch. Okay, so let's do some pressing here. Please don't skip this part. Please don't skip this part. This is super important. Oopsies. There we go. All right. So I'm going to. This is just so darn cute. Steamed it enough, I think. I'm going to go and I'm going to top stitch. Okay, here we are. I highly recommend using matching thread. I did not use matching thread for the sake of the tutorial, so I have some white thread, some black thread, and it's not my favorite look, but give it one last press, and we have an absolutely lovely Henley neckband. Love it. I hope you had a great time today learning how to do our Henley neckband, and I hope that you will join us again next time on Sewing School. Bye.